Hey, what's up, YouTube? And here we at, day 15, trading stocks using the software built by Claude Code. And I just fired up the software this afternoon, right now, 8:50 Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, our current holdings, DOCS, we should, still hold it. LEN and the GME, WY is to sell those positions. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put them in the queue. All right, I'm gonna go back to Robinhood, and this one I'm just gonna sell to close. Boom, and submit. Done. So I'm gonna sell this position, and also the GME costs. Boom, and sell to close. Review. Submit. Done. All right, there we go. So we got WY and GME calls closed. So they're gonna be sold as of tomorrow. And we're also gonna have so the remaining positions is gonna be LEN call $85 put and DOCS $25 call position. So we're gonna wait for those. Currently we're at $820. This is the highest that we've ever been started the challenge. The last high point it was 700. Oh, all right. Sorry for the glitch. And I just somehow my headphone was disconnected. And all right, we're back. We're at $820. And the highest we've been, if we look at 1 month, we started the challenge, about, June, I can remember, June 25th, let's just call June 25th. The highest that we've been, we started at the $600 and we go all the way up, to $792. And today, the highest that we've been is $836, but currently we are at 820. So that's what my portfolio looks like. We're gonna continue to follow the instructions of the software. At one point, I was like, we're making some money on the stocks. Maybe we should sell it all and reposition, re-ask the software to build us the options we should be trading for. And I didn't do that. Ultimately, I just want to trust the software. So let's go back to the software. We're gonna mark those as close the position and close the position. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow is when the market opens, because I'm gonna sell two positions, I still should have some money left, so I'll just say, what I should be buying. All right, let's go back to the stock options, well, not the options, but going back to the stock. Today's market, we did say a really good signal on ANET, and it's a buy signal. It's a high quality setup, and it's 90, so it's a good point to buy. And let's do a little bit of research what this stock is all about. So let's go back to just do it at Robinhood ANET. So it's called Arista, and I'll just basically walk through how I pick the stocks. Okay, so let's look at year to date. Overall trajectory, it's going up. Seems like the support right here. So I'm not gonna mess with that. It looks like to be a solid stock. What about the max? Okay, so has been going up all the time. And what this company is about. So Arista Networks engages in the development, marketing, and sale of cloud networking solutions. Its solutions include EOS and a net of network applications and gigabit Ethernet switching and routing platforms. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna ask a simple question. Is Arista Networks uh, heavily involved in AI infrastructure? So, because right now the narrative is AI infrastructure. So you're basically buying into the narrative. The market, the whole market is going up or down because of AI. So yes, Arista Networks is one of the heaviest and the most critical players in AI infrastructure space. While semiconductor companies NVIDIA get primary attention, Arista provides the vital high-speed, low-latency network fabrics that tie through thousands of GPU together in hyper data centers. Okay, so it's basically providing network solutions and for connecting all the GPU. But we all know that Corning is Corning is also doing something cool in the space. So why don't we do that? Is Arista Networks a, a competitor with Corning's new AI technology? Let's just put related to, you know, fiber optics and the glass bridge. I think that's what they called. I didn't research into it. So we were just asking AI. It's a Rista's network a direct competitor. Okay, it's not a competitor to Corning. Rather, they are highly complementary partners that sit at entirely different layers of AI infrastructure stack. So, okay, it's two different layers. Networking and software. It's active layer. Passive layer is physical materials and optics. Okay, so they're not direct competitors. I don't have concerns there. But let's look at Corning stock. Okay, Corning stock, let's just look at the past 6 months because that's where all the crazy things happens. Let's just look at the start of the year, January, they're at 85 bucks. They go all the way up, let's call it 3 times, at 255 point, 43 US dollar. So 3 times, it's 3x during that span. They all are part of the AI infrastructure. Now let's look at Arista Networks stock. Okay, we're gonna look at the 6 months again. 6 months, what they have been. They have been $123.72 start of year, and the highest that they've been is probably today. But it's not 3 times. Look at the PE ratio. It's trading at the PE ratio is at a 62. And what about the Corning's P ratio? I think it's 90. Last time I showed you, it was 90. So Corning's P ratio is 88. So roughly there. So relatively in the AI narratives, it's a cheaper stock to buy. So yeah, it's Arista Networks. What I'm gonna do here is, I do have, if you remember, I have $10,000 in Zscaler. So I'm gonna open another position to buy Arista Networks uh, at the price suggested by the software, which is 181, and I should be targeting at a $30 profit. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. It's a high quality setup, and the score is 90, so seems to be a really good buy. So I'm just gonna buy that, and also Nvidia. Again, this is a short term, swing trade. I'm not gonna hold anything long term because, like I said, I don't believe the market is healthy. I don't believe the AI narratives. People are talking about AI narratives. The chances are, yesterday I was having a discussion with someone who is heavily involved in corporate use of AI. What they found out is, they burn a lot of tokens, more than expected. They blow their budget up, for a lot of the AI usage. And none of the things, because if you use Cloud Code today, Cloud Code can build you softwares. If you give them vague instructions, it's gonna burn more tokens. If you give detailed instructions, what's a mask to use, what's a series you need to use to build the rest softwares, it will be more efficient. The most inefficient way of using Cloud is actually Cloud Code or Cloud Cowork. Because if you ask a Cloud Cowork to script the internet, search the jobs that related to your background really well, and you just do that, it's gonna burn a lot of tokens. You're gonna burn your tokens, at a given period of time. If you have a subscription, it's just instant, boom, gone. Within minutes. Um, so we're also going to be looking at Zscaler today. I just want to see what Zscaler is doing. Zscaler, don't have any. What's the PE ratio? Okay, because the company currently operates at a loss. Ooh, forward PE ratios. So the company is currently operating at a loss. So, hmm, let me ask the same question: is Zscaler involved in AI? I can't remember what it is Zscaler was doing, but I don't have 10,000. Yes, heavily involved in AI, both using AI to enhance cyber security defense and by building specialized solution to protect the enterprise AI system. Okay, they're doing something in the AI, but let's look at 6 months. So they've been going down. All the time. From 220. So I might just hold the position longer, but again, tomorrow when the market opens, I'm gonna use a different trade account, just to look to buy ANET. I'm probably gonna buy another $10,000 worth of ANET and see what happens. And that's where we at today. With my trading. So 1,800 bucks, not too shabby. So you're definitely not gonna you're definitely not gonna see a huge benefit. But one thing I think we learned together is if you look at this graph. So if we at the high point, we're making some. Let's say when we started $600, and then we go all the way up to 700, $89. At that point, if we sold the stock, sold everything, and then go through the low point, high point, whatever, then we build the cycles into it, maybe we can get a better benefits. So what I'm gonna do for the next challenge I'm hoping for is I'm gonna still using how much ever this I have, maybe I'll 10x the money. I'll just basically set up a starting point and set up a goal, mathematically reasonable. I haven't figured out yet, what math I want to use. And then I'm gonna ask the software to tell me, okay, when the whole portfolio is making more than, let's say, 30% or 50%, it's time for you to dump everything and reset and relook for the trading options. That's what I'm planning to do for next challenge. But overall, we're doing okay. I wouldn't say we're doing awesome, because we started with $600. You always want to say a 2x in a short period of time of frame, but you want to see some magic happening, but this time no magic. So before we go, let's go to Yahoo Finance, just to look what is happening in the market today. Apart from the market, we know the president just launched a tax on Iran again. Um, I don't know where we're getting into that war, but obviously that's what our government decide to do. So we launch as a strike, for the second day. So probably they're gonna block the canal, and basically gonna block everything. So Hormuz, strait. They're gonna block that strait, and the oil price is gonna go up. So that's what has been media multi-year. So yeah, we don't see good news here today. Uh, Dow Jones, index is down. Nvidia up a little bit. Meta down. Ooh, mm, don't see much going on. Macron, well, going up back to that much. UiPath, which I have a huge chunk of position at, it's doing okay. So not much is happening in the market today. No big gigantic news except we're gonna attack Iran again, and who knows how long that that is going to lost, but we are the consumers, we bear all unlucky things the government decide to do, because if you look at the beef price today, it's $20 plus, it's crazy. But here we at, hopefully you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me, in my day 15, trading stock options using Cloud Code build software, and we're halfway there, and I can't be more than happy, to get into the next challenge. And here we at, have a good night.